They're after these guys because a lot of people don't like them because they're not nicety on Instagram, YouTube, and so on. They've already been canceled off half these platforms. Where is our justice? This is the slap in your face, and you don't even know it. Coach Greg, in today's video, breaking news, the Tates, both Tristan and Andrew Tate, have been arrested. And so with the BBC, you perhaps have seen altercations between the BBC and Andrew Tate, calling them out for misrepresenting things, not doing everything correctly. Well, the title, it reads as follows: Tate brothers arrested in U.S. as further UK charges take the total to 59. They now have accumulated 59 separate charges. They've been arrested. They are being requested to be extradited to 2 various countries. And it seems all these countries want Andrew Tate. They want to be able to say, we got this man. He's a bad man. He's a misogynist. Look at all these charges. I mean, eating grapes all these times, both of them. Look at all the terrible things they've done in their past. I don't even want to list out the charges, as the video perhaps might get demonetized. But do you all not remember that these brothers have already spent a significant amount of time in jail, over 3 months? During that time, they were charged with everything. I mean, throw at them the kitchen sink. Everyone was saying, bravo, claps. They are bad people because they don't say nice things. They're misogynists, and you don't like them, and so throw the book at them. But here's the difference between some of you, not all of you are like this, and Coach Greg. Even if I don't like somebody, I don't want them to be charged and have to go to jail for something they did not do. With the previous case with Andrew Tate and his brother, they had interviewed close to 1,000 individuals. Got any dirt on this guy? Are you sure you can't say that they did this? People even being paid to say certain things. After interviewing anyone, millions of dollars were spent on this. They couldn't get enough evidence to convict them. How hard would it be to get enough evidence to convict? My feeling is this: I don't give a shit if you don't like my opinion. I don't think they're guilty. You can think they're guilty. You can think they're not guilty. And I'm saying this based on logic. Your feelings are hurt when Andrew Tate says that he doesn't like it if you're gay. He doesn't like it if you're fat. He doesn't like this. He doesn't like that. But this is a man who doesn't party. He doesn't use recreational substances. And from what I've seen, he actually cares. Now, is he abrasive? Yes. Is he controversial? Of course. The more controversial things that you say, the more you can perhaps get clickbait titles and you poke the bear, the more people talk about you. And they're now one of the most talked about people in the world.
Romania would say, we want them. Great Britain would say, we want them. And then a judge would have to decide where they end up going. But right now what they have is, they have a case here. The courts here are going to say, hold on, they got to stay here.
Being in Florida in the United States, and considering there's a case here, the United States isn't going to ship them off to some other country. No, we're dealing with him. We've got him. You guys want him, but you can have him when we're done.
Somebody that has gone through 2 federal cases and had to fight and had spent time in jails waiting to go to trial is not going to be a fun experience whatsoever.
They're going to be held in jail. This is worse than prison, a small cell. They've done this in the past, and it's a long path ahead of them. Having to hire lawyers, and the process in courts in the United States as well as Canada takes years sometimes. It's annoying. And so unfortunately, even though they have a lot of money, they can't just go out on bail. They can't just say, hey, we'll deal with this later. And so this isn't going to be fun. And my prediction is that eventually all the charges are going to be dropped. They're going to go to court. Perhaps it's going to take 2 years, whatever. And eventually you're going to say, oh, there wasn't enough evidence.
Now they're going to be stuck in some cell. And, it's a 6x12 cell. They're going to have limited access to their attorneys, no matter what they tell you that they do. It's going to suck for them.
Can I remind you of something, everyone? Wasn't there something called the Epstein files that was released? I don't know, like some time ago. Wasn't it like a big deal involving highly influential people, presidents even? Why aren't any of them arrested? Like, has anyone thought of this? Like, what exactly is going on? Andrew Tate says that the Matrix is after him. Does Andrew Tate perhaps know something a little bit more than perhaps you or I? And that for some reason, these charges, they keep on popping up. Whether or not you like or dislike Andrew Tate, imagine if you were in his shoes. Imagine if somebody was charging you of something, perhaps charges that were made up, false charges, and eventually you can get off, but the time it takes leading to that, you're in jail. Even if he gets called innocent, he still loses. But what about all the people in the Epstein files? Do we not have enough evidence to charge them and then perhaps do an investigation? Why can't other famous people be arrested, be placed behind bars, while we interview other people to see if what they're saying is true or not? Andrew Tate was already acquitted of several different charges. I don't even know how many. And these current charges, they stem from 2010 to 2017. What, magically, all these charges, they now add up right now? How does it get to 9 charges of eating grapes? Wouldn't it be after 1, someone says something, after 2, 5? Why is it this many years later? Now, of course, if he's guilty of even 1, that's bad. That's all it takes. Then he deserves to be behind bars. But imagine if it was your name and somebody was making up charges because they don't like you. And everyone stood by and said, bravo, we hate you anyway. You deserve it. But what if you're innocent? 0 arrests over the Epstein files, by the way. Ain't Matrix, it's another distraction to the Epstein files. From the history of all these cases, everything has been made up. And I'm not a conspiracy guy or anything like that. I have no dog in the fight. But they keep on popping these fake charges up for these 2 brothers, and every single charge I've had prior had 0 evidence or falsified evidence. Why are they after these guys? Like, do you guys understand what actually happened? And so perhaps they're thinking, the more charges we add, the better. If we throw everything at them, the shotgun effect, like when you approach girls in a bar, you ask every single one out, approach all 50, maybe one of them is going to stick. If you charge them with 59 different things, maybe one of them was bad. I'm asking you this. If they interviewed every person that you've ever met in your life and said, is there anything illegal that that person has ever done? Do you think that they could find anything that you've done? I for sure would be guilty. If you dig hard enough, if you spend enough millions of dollars, they're going to find something you did that was illegal. Have you ever been caught speeding? Or maybe you got paid for something under the table and you didn't claim it. Did you ever use a substance that isn't 100% legal? If you're in the United States, last I checked, testosterone isn't even legal without a prescription. Now remember, you can, of course, go to AlgoRx and you can get enclomiphene, you can get GLPs, you can get peptides, but all of them are legal. AlgoRx, one of the only peptide companies, clinics that you could ever find that hasn't broken any laws. They don't sell research chemical bullshit. They don't even sell Retta. They don't sell BPC 157 because it's not FDA approved. Everything there is prescribed by doctors from compounding pharmacies. And so if you want a company that is 100% legit, above board, not breaking any laws ever, you go to AlgoRx and you get your money's worth. For example, please go to Merrick Health and compare the prices. I have no fear because I know once you see all the prices, you're going to go back to AlgoRx and you're going to use code Greg for your discount. The UK's Crown prosecution said Andrew was being charged with 7 further counts of ape, as well as charges relating to trafficking and indecent images of a younger person. The alleged offending is said to have taken place between July 2010 and August 2017. The Tates had previously denied any wrongdoing. Remember, they were already in jail. They already did all these investigations. In my opinion, is they need to move on or perhaps move on to someone else. I mean, I don't have an exact figure, but I bet they've spent tens of millions of dollars on this. Couldn't they spend some of that money investigating other people in the Epstein's files? Like, What exactly is going on? What society do we live in where they keep accusing the same people and nothing happens? This has been going on for years. The first time I'd heard Andrew Tate's name in my life, I heard of all these allegations, but yet years later, the same things keep coming every single time over and over again. These charging decisions followed receipt of a further file of evidence from Bedfordshire police and bring the total number of alleged victims in this case to 7. And so they get another report, some file, and they say, hey, there's now 7 people. Here's another file. Let's add in 37 charges because they got some report or a file. Wasn't there 1,000 pages in the Epstein files that was exposed, naming people for very specific actions? And yet nothing is done about that. Nothing. Has there even been one arrest made? I don't understand. They have a report over here and bam, news all over the world. Epstein file release the Epstein files, nothing happens. This is a slap in your face and you don't even know it. Whether or not you like Andrew Tate, let's say you hate him. Do you not hate some of the people in the Epstein files even more? And so where is our justice? A lawyer who represents the Tates, Joseph McBride, said, the world knows Andrew and Tristan Tate are innocent. In a statement released after their arrest on Saturday evening. Their enemies know it best of all. That is exactly why they have been attacked, McBride continued, describing the new UK charges as a political hit. The new charges were designed to counter a defamation action filed by the brothers in the US. Tristan and Andrew were, in fact, going against the people who made all these charges against them, saying, they're defaming us. They're inventing this bullshit, and we've had enough. And they have the money to fight it. Perhaps $100 million, I don't know. And so you could see, if they're saying, hey, you did this to me, we're going to accuse you of that, then they're going to accuse you back. They're going back and forth. Our lives are generally very simple. We don't think of powers that be or these higher ups or the Matrix. Imagine you're at Andrew's level where people can fabricate anything. Let's make up a story. Oh, you did this, 7 people, 8 people. When? 1942. Okay, sure. Write this up. Under arrest, boom. What can you do? You then have to go to court. You have to go to jail. You have to spend millions of dollars defending yourselves, of which they've already done. Yep, we're innocent. Okay. Hey, bam, back in jail. What are you supposed to do? Like, imagine if this happened to you or I. We are confident that once a competent judge sees the facts and once the Department of Justice confronts this egregious abuse of its own authority, Andrew and Tristan Tate will walk free. America does not do Britain's political dirty work, he continued. Lawyer Matt Jury, who represents several alleged British victims of Andrew Tate, welcomed the charges and said, Andrew and Tristan Tate are accused of some of the most serious offenses, including multiple counts of ape and human. It is time they face justice. Imagine if somebody accused you of a horrible crime, something you can't even imagine, and you're thinking, well, I'm innocent. Tell me who said it. No. And you then have to go to jail for months and or years waiting trial, and then you then go to trial, and the case has mysteriously been dropped. And that person that accused you, well, we're going to release the names. They were actually paid $100,000 to make that shit up. Would you not lose your shit? Despite the fact that there's a lot of people that don't like Andrew, people are starting to come around. It's kind of like when we were told we had to wear that Halloween mask to go trick-or-treating for Halloween, and many of us, we didn't agree with it. People now, they're coming around like, wait a minute. All those things they told us to do, it didn't actually make any sense. Maybe there is some form of a matrix that's playing tricks on all of us. They're after these guys because a lot of people don't like them because they're not nicety on Instagram, YouTube, and so on. They've already been canceled off half these platforms because they say things that you don't like. And so enough people don't like you, it doesn't matter if you're actually a good person. If you say the wrong things and people dislike you and it becomes cool to go against you, then everyone jumps on board and says, you're a misogynist, you belong in jail, even if the person didn't commit those crimes. Somebody wrote, yes, under the jail, loser. Cheering for somebody to go to jail when you don't even know if they did anything wrong. So are you getting this now? I'm just reporting the facts here. The facts, he's been arrested for charges. We don't know if he's actually done them. They've had years to investigate. If he actually did those charges, wouldn't they have somehow found out by now? And so, what do you think is going on? One thing I can know for certain is that had Andrew Tate have been on Turk Builder Max all along, none of this would have happened. Do you guys not know how valuable this is? You're on the Turk Builder Max, and all of life's problems go away. You build more muscle, bad things don't happen to you, and so it's kind of magical. You buy this, you build muscle, you don't go to jail. This is how it works. Remember, I'm joking about all this, but not about the part where it builds muscle. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algo X. I gotta go watch a video. And so until next time, bye-bye.